You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the American Legion in Pittsburgh gives thanks to area veterans with a Thanksgiving celebration.
Also, an outreach group's efforts to keep a homeless shelter in Parsons from permanently closing.
And we've got those cloudy skies, some scattered showers out there this morning. We've got to look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. now on this finally Friday. It's November the 21st. Does not seem like November the 21st. Like we're 6 days from Thanksgiving, a week from Black Friday's shopping, and it will actually feel like Thanksgiving and Black Friday once we get there, and we'll go over all of that in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you about some folks doing good in the 4 states.
Yes, you know, as we near the Thanksgiving season, it's always great to talk about things we're thankful for. And, you know, in this week's Doing Good segment, people who've survived addiction are now dedicating their lives to helping others beat it. As
KOAM's Ty Parks reports, the Recovery Outreach Community Center on South Main in Joplin proves that sometimes the best help comes from those who understand the struggle.
On South Main near 20th Street in Joplin is the ROC, Recovery Outreach Community Center. This is a place for people suffering from addiction who can get peer-driven help.
We are a very affected area in Joplin. There are people struggling all over. But here in our community, we have been adversely affected by the opioid crisis, as well as all the meth and other weird drugs that they have nowadays. People are really looking for a place to get help.
Being a peer-driven support system, the people who help are people who have walked in the same shoes.
Somebody coming in looking for help with somebody that they would relate to. So one of our peers would sit down with them, see if they have a goal in mind that they want to obtain.
The goals that peer specialists help them with could be help them get clean, apply for a job.
Involved in our services here, everything's free, so people can just come and go and enjoy, whether it's meetings, peer support. We have cooking class, we have craft social, so we have a lot of things to be able to interact so people can build a community and have a safe place to go to.
Somebody reached out to me in my darkest hour, and I paid that person back by doing this. But it also helps me and reminds me every single day where I can be, where I fit in.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Now, because the ROC is a peer-driven system, there are no clinical services available at the facility, but they still do a ton of great work.
Absolutely, and it's still helping the community. And again, it's one of those things where the folks who have been through that understand it the most and can really help those who are still struggling to get through, because they're that example. They show, I made it through this, and so can you.
You know, and there's somebody that can say, I have been in your shoes. I do understand what you've been through, where you're coming from, and can really offer that perspective.
Certainly so. And we've all been through the rain. We've all been through the cold weather. We've all been through the clouds, and we're going to do it again together. We're going to start, though, with that live look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and I got some wet road waves. We've had some drizzle, some sprinkles, like showers out there. Got cloudy skies over Pittsburgh. Cloudy skies, Joplin, 7th in range line, and of course, that'll mean that MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. Cloudy skies, a little bit of clearing out there. That's what mostly cloudy is you get just a little bit of clearing. Skywatch Storm Tracker got a little heavier shower here now south of Lamar into Barton County. Otherwise, just some real just sprinkles and light showers stretching up I-44 and then points north, paralleling I-49, getting in to parts of Bates and Lynn, as well as far northern Anderson County into southeastern Kansas. This is southwest Missouri. Anderson and Lynn counties are in Kansas. I know that. I promise I know that. I just said the wrong direction. All right, off to our west, though. Take a look. Near Dodge City, definitely in Kansas, we have this low pressure system. That's what that spin is before some of that rain starts to fall apart. That's what brought us the rain. That warm front is attached to that. It lifted north through our area, brought us some showers, brought us some storms, brought us somewhat mild weather, and has then brought sprinkles this morning. It will begin to track off to the east, southeast, and will change our weather for us, which we'll show you in just a second. Quick reminder, we do have some patchy fog out there. Iola, your visibility has been up and down this morning, so do be careful for rapidly changing visibilities. The fog tracker relies on, again, observation point data, observation station data, and it updates about every 10 or 15 minutes. There'll be gaps. So right now, Pittsburgh, just over 7 miles of visibility, so only slightly reduced. There's that warm front where it lifted north, and that's why we're warm down here this morning, pretty mild, into the low 60s. As that low pressure pushes southeast, ahead of it, we have winds out of the southwest gusting upwards of 20 because the flow around the low pressure is counterclockwise. As we get on the back side of it, the winds will eventually shift out of the north, and that'll allow us to be a little cooler tonight, and we'll have those mostly cloudy skies continue. Some locations this afternoon, especially along and south of I-44, might get a little more sunshine than everyone else. If that happens, and if you get enough, you could make 71, 72 maybe, but I think most of us, mostly cloudy, upper 60s, and the rain showers wrapping up by 9, 10 o'clock at the latest. We're going to go over your weekend forecast, tell you how cool it's going to get tonight, and how things are looking for Thanksgiving here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Authorities have released the name of the suspect from Sunday's officer-involved shooting in McDonald County, Missouri. He's 32-year-old Dylan Martinez, who was on parole from the state of Arkansas. He's a suspect in an arson investigation in Bentonville. Martinez's criminal history includes charges for rape, robbery, residential burglary, theft, kidnapping, and possession of controlled substance. Investigators say Martinez also had a prior hostile relationship with a person in the area of the shooting. McDonald County authorities say off-duty reserve deputy Michael Hall encountered Martinez on Hall's property in Powell, Missouri Sunday, as Hall investigated what appeared to be an abandoned car in his driveway. That car turned out to be stolen. Investigators say after Deputy Hall identified himself, Martinez produced a handgun and fired at Hall, striking him in the thigh. Hall returned fire, striking Martinez. Martinez was transported to a regional hospital for treatment. Hall was treated at a hospital and later released. You can find more details on this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Children's Miracle Network Miracle Market returned this week to Freeman West, bringing holiday shopping and community impact under one roof. The two-day event features about 20 unique vendors, from local boutiques and handmade crafters to woodwork created by a Joplin firefighter, even fresh cinnamon rolls. Organizers say they carefully select each vendor to make sure shoppers get a wide variety of gifts and goods. A homeless shelter in Parsons, Kansas is in danger of permanently closing. KOAM's Kenny Foreman finds out what one outreach group is doing to help prevent this.
I would be willing to bet that if Safe Haven closes its doors, that would be upwards towards 1,000 people losing access to something that could have saved them.
In the city of Parsons, homelessness is an ongoing issue. Just ask the American Advocacy Initiative, who regularly listens to people's concerns.
I think a lot of people in Parsons have noticed that there is a homelessness issue. It's one of the biggest complaints that we get day to day is that there are a lot of homeless people. Why isn't there a homeless shelter? Most people don't know that there is one.
These concerns were further elevated when the Safe Haven Outreach Mission reached out to the initiative in need of help. After helping those in need for the past 16 years, they are now at risk of closing down due to a lack of funding.
Fortunately, we have been able to keep the doors open so far. We're the newbies on the board, so we're taking a lot of guidance from those who have been there, and they've been so helpful at teaching us what we can do to help.
Despite the shelter's current financial struggles, the initiative is confident in its ability to bring in more volunteers, which would make it easier for the shelter to continue to operate.
I don't see a major issue with the drive for fighting for Safe Haven to go down. As of right now, we really need funding and we really need volunteers, and we're actively working on a plan, and I'm confident that we can make that happen.
In Parsons, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The American Advocacy Initiative holds its public meetings the third Thursday of every month at the Parsons Public Library. Anyone interested in volunteering at Safe Haven can reach out to the initiative or the shelter itself. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up later, we have Sarah Runyon in the studio here to talk about Small Business Saturday coming to Pittsburgh. Well, welcome back. I'm joined this morning with Sarah Runyon, here to talk about Small Business Saturday coming to Pittsburgh. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So for those who may not know, can you tell us a little bit about what is a Small Business Saturday?
Well, in Pittsburgh, it means the biggest holiday shopping day of the year, especially for local businesses. So on Small Business Saturday, we do a passport event. Folks can grab one of these at their local coffee shops next week, or they can come to the Pittsburgh Holiday Art Market and grab them. And there are 40 businesses that are offering sales or specials on Small Business Saturday and on Black Friday. So it gives people an extra incentive to get out and support their local businesses.
Amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about who's helping organize this? Who's helping put this on?
So it's the City of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Pittsburgh Advisory Board, and like I said, the Holiday Art Market, which is put on by our Pittsburgh Arts Council, also participates. And then we have a ton of other events happening that day to incentivize folks to come and shop local and support their local retailers.
Amazing. I know this isn't the first Small Business Saturday that you guys have been a part of. You know, how's the turnout been? How's been the community reaction to it in the past?
Well, last year we had between 4,000 and 5,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Additional come to downtown, come to Pittsburgh to come shop. So it's been a huge response, and a lot of our local retailers really rely on this day and look forward to it all year round because it is the best day for them of the year, and they pull out all of their holiday merch. They're really excited to welcome customers.
Great, and that kind of goes into my next question is, you know, why is an emphasis on shopping small, shopping local so important this time of the year?
Well, if you want to make the biggest impact on your community, you have to invest in your small businesses. Put your phone down, quit shopping on Amazon, and look to your local coffee shops, look to your local retailers for holiday gifts. We have a ton of really great events happening that day. Not only do we have the Holiday Art Market, but we have a mistletoe market happening with the farmers market vendors. We have Harlan's Venue Days, and then we have our Christmas tree lighting ceremony on that day. So we've stacked the entire day full of really fun things to incentivize people to come to Pittsburgh and support local.
It sounds like a great way to kind of get in that holiday spirit and do some holiday shopping at the same time.
For sure.
Amazing. And so when does this take place?
So Saturday, November 29th, it starts all day long. You can pick up, like I said, you can pick up your passport at one of our local coffee shops. The list is on the City of Pittsburgh's website, but you can also go to Downtown Pittsburgh social media pages to find this, and it'll have a list of sales and specials on that Saturday after Thanksgiving, and also some Black Friday sales as well.
Great, and it sounds, looking at the passport, there's a lot of local stores that people know and love that are participating. So it's great to shop at stores you already love and support them at a great time.
Yep, and they're all people that live in your community. They're people that invest in your community every day. So it's really important to support them and support their businesses, especially through the holidays.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Oh, welcome back to the KOM Morning News, 7:17 now on this Friday morning. If you have time later, after the KOM Morning News, there's an interesting article out of the Warren County Gazette in Warrenton, Missouri. I was just looking at, and the way it's great. It's a true story. It's great. Okay, there's that. Now we have some fog to deal with. Just a little bit around the Pittsburgh area, parts of Crawford County, western Barton, northern Cherokee. Reduced visibility is just a wee bit, and again, still east of Castville here, down into Berry County. So do be cautious. In terms of showers, there's really not much left out there. We do have these showers that are a little heavier shower now into eastern Barton County, a little moderate showers southwest of Joplin into northwestern Newton County, and another one just to the northwest of Neosho itself. A couple other stray showers here and there, some slightly more organized shower activity up into Bates County. All of it associated with this low pressure system near Dodge City, which will eventually begin to push off to the east-southeast, and as it does so, it will bring us some slightly cooler air later today. I think the majority of any actual rain like right now that we're picking up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which isn't much, should be done by about 9-10 at the absolute latest. Could there be a stray sprinkle, little light drizzle later today? It's a possibility. Chance is very low. The other thing is this. There's a little question on some clearing really along this zone, so north of the I-44 corridor and points south. If enough clearing takes place, which is still questionable, you may be a little warmer than the rest of the region. It depends on how much clearing takes place and when that clearing takes place. That'll make that kind of determination where we could see a couple of low 70s out here. But I think the majority of us will stay mostly cloudy, and we're going to stay below 70 degrees today. As that low pressure pushes by, winds on the backside of it are going to shift out of the north. It'll be a little cooler tonight. We'll still be cloudy. And our Saturday, good portion of the day about partly cloudy, but as we go later into the day, those clouds will track on out of here and be drug along with that low pressure system as well as it continues to push off to the east. And then we've got the rest of our Saturday looking pretty good, a little cooler, not too bad on Sunday with more rain late Sunday. All right, 7th and range line. Some cloudy skies out there. A little bit of daylight trying to sneak through. Low 60s to start, mid 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Like I said, I think the majority of us are going to remain mostly cloudy enough that we just kind of stay into the upper 60s. But along and south of I-44, if enough clearing takes place, a couple of low 70s will be possible out there. Ahead of that low pressure, though, winds out of the southwest gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy through the evening. Now, of course, on the backside of this low pressure system, this is another one of those situations where, well, we've got the cloud cover. What happens to that blanket? Well, that blanket doesn't work when you've got cold air being pushed in underneath it. It's the same thing as the blanket in your bed. If you've got a fan at the end of your bed, at the foot of your bed, and you put the blanket up and over it, you're going to get cold under there. It doesn't matter that you're under the blanket, you're pushing cold air, and that's what this low pressure will do. That's why we're going to be a little chillier tonight, dropping back into the mid-40s with that north breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll go upper 50s tomorrow, mid-60s Sunday. Remember, most of Sunday's all right. Clouds will start increasing later in the day, and then we'll get those late evening showers continuing into Monday. Cold air still looks to arrive late Tuesday. So we go low 60s to start, then we go back into the upper 20s and low 30s by Tuesday night. Maybe some showers on Wednesday. So Turkey Day, even if we get a shower to Turkey Day, because this little disturbance with the rain, still a little question on to exactly which day it's going to land on. Those chances, though, will still be very low. Shouldn't really ruin your Thanksgiving, but it'll be colder. It's going to be seasonably cold, but it'll be colder on Thanksgiving. It'll actually feel like Thanksgiving, and those temperatures continue into next weekend. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
In Consumer Watch, the delayed September employment report found stronger than expected job growth. There were 119,000 new jobs created, more than double the 50,000 expected. The unemployment rate rose to 4.4%. There won't be a separate October employment report released because there wasn't sufficient data collected during the government shutdown. It will be part of the November report on December 16th, after the Fed's December 9th and 10th meeting. However, the Fed does have other sources on the job market. Those were our top consumer stories. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. I'm Samantha Walker. A video from Democratic lawmakers who are also U.S. veterans is making some waves online after they called on members of the military to defy unlawful orders from the White House. It's also caught the attention and the ire of President Trump. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen reports.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
This is the clip circulating on social media featuring 6 Democrats who served in the military or intelligence community. The lawmakers say the Trump administration is pitting the military against American citizens. President Trump took to Truth Social to condemn the video, writing, quote, "Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." The president then added seditious behavior punishable by death.
He is throwing a match into a country filled with political extreme gasoline. It is dangerous. It is devastating.
Democrats have been critical of the use of the National Guard and U.S. troops in American cities like Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. They're also concerned about recent deadly strikes on alleged drug boats and the military buildup in the South Caribbean.
Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put our military in terrible positions. I don't want to wait until that happens to remind our troops of their obligation, because then it'll be too late.
The White House is pushing back.
We do things by the books, and to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do.
Levitt says the president does not want anyone to be executed. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, some of the busiest travel days of the year are upon us. And as the old saying goes, it's time to pack your patience. So many travelers, however, don't, leading to viral meltdowns and a miserable time for the rest of us. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more on the Transportation Department's new campaign to bring civility back to the travel experience.
From brawls at baggage claim to unruly passengers, you can't do this. The skies have gotten a lot less friendly over the years, and the data proves it, with a 400% increase in in-flight outbursts since 2019 and over 13,000 passenger incidents since 2021.
I think part of it is we're all being crammed together. You combine that with stressed passengers, delays, cancellations, and it's a recipe for disaster.
A recipe Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is hoping to change by launching a new civility campaign titled "The Golden Age of Travel Starts With You."
Help people out, be in a good mood, dress up, bring civility back to travel, and I think everyone's experience is going to be that much better.
Travelers see the need.
I think it's become more acceptable for people to just be mean, and other people just feel like they're supposed to be able to say what they want, do what they want, when they want, and everybody else is supposed to take it.
We just could all be a little bit nicer to each other and think about being a little less frustrated.
But some travel experts say passengers aren't the only ones who need an etiquette lesson.
I don't want to let the airlines off the hook for this completely. They have some responsibility here too to passengers, and we're moving away from sort of this European model of compensating passengers for delays and cancellations and things like that. And so, I think everyone has a part to play in making the skies friendlier.
And Thanksgiving week will be a major test, with AAA predicting more than 6 million people to fly over the holiday. At Reagan National Airport, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got those cloudy skies out there again across the region this morning. We've had a few sprinkles. Live look downtown Pittsburgh, 7th and Range Line in Joplin. You look, you can see a little daylight trying to sneak in there. Of course, that's the nature of mostly cloudy skies. And same from MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. Got some darker skies up there, and that is simply because we have a slightly heavier shower just to the east of Joplin. So let's take a quick look. Up north, really, the last of the more organized showers just north of Butler into Bates County. Continuing to head north up toward Kansas City. Got a little sprinkle north of Drywood. Got another one near Cedar, south of Jericho Springs, or just to the east of Lamar. Then we've got this heavier shower also on the east side of Joplin, stretching back down toward the south side. And then another one near Fidelity, stretching back toward Diamond, and that's about it. And in all honesty, then the next, let's say it's 7:30, so the next, I'd say, hour and a half at most, we're probably going to be pretty well done with our shower chances. Could we get a sprinkle or two later today? It's a possibility, but not very likely. We do have some light fog around Crawford County, parts of western Barton, northern Cherokee counties, Pittsburgh, at about 7 miles of visibility. So the good news here is not the same level of dense fog and not as widespread as it was before. That blue line up there, that's the warm front that lifted north yesterday, brought us our showers and storms. We're in the low to mid 60s this morning, and temperatures shouldn't move too terribly much for most of us through the day today. As that low pressure approaches, ahead of it, southwest winds will be gusty out there. We'll have mostly cloudy skies along and south of I-44. Some clearing may take place, and if it does and enough of it takes place, we could get some temperatures in this zone into the low 70s. But I think the bulk of us are going to remain mostly cloudy. That's going to keep our temperatures capped into the upper 60s. Southwest winds gusting to 20, low 60s by 9, mid 60s by noon. And with that low pressure on the backside, north winds filtering in cooler air tonight. We'll talk about that and our weekend forecast and have a preview of Thanksgiving for you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Well, thanks, Chris. Like Chris said, our rain is mostly clearing out, but we may get a few sprinkles. But this comes following a day of heavy rains and flash flooding issues yesterday. Heavy rain yesterday afternoon flooded Murphy Boulevard through Landreth Park, forcing the city to close a portion of the road for several hours. Floodwaters covered the roadway near the park's east entrance before it receded by mid-afternoon. With more rain expected a little bit this morning, Joplin officials are reminding drivers to watch for potential flooding in low-lying areas across the 4 states. The 6th annual Kids Giving Gala for Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County took place in Miami, Oklahoma yesterday. The fundraiser invited community members and businesses to help provide for more than 1,200 kids that the Boys and Girls Club serves. A fully catered dinner was provided for those who attended, and club alumni and youth served at the event. This year's fundraising goal is $100,000. Yesterday, KOAM kicked off our season of giving with Feed the 4 States, supporting local food pantries. From noon to 6:30, 4 staters called in and donated thousands of dollars. Donations that will have double the buying power at shelters like the Wesley House and Crosslines. KOAM's Blake Goldie spoke with Travis Hurley from Watered Gardens to learn about the impact of those donations on our community.
Here with Travis from Watered Gardens, how important is this cause for you?
Like, it's so important to us at Watered Gardens Ministries. We really believe that civil society can rise up in times of crisis, and as folks have had experiencing some food insecurity as a result of the government shutdown there for a season, our Mission Market food pantry grocery store has been hit extra hard.
So you can go to our website, koamnewsnow.com, and continue to donate. We will take those donations and it will help our community. We've been doing this for over 20 years and we want to continue to give back to the 4 states.
Ron's Supermarket in Pittsburgh will collect donations Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Thanksgiving is around the corner, and the American Legion in Pittsburgh is preparing to feed veterans, first responders, and their families. The dinner, which includes donated ham, turkey, and side dishes, is to show appreciation for the men and women who have served our nation.
We're hoping for a better turnout for this Thanksgiving holiday season to start our season off right, and then I'm able to communicate and talk to these people. My leadership is able to talk to these guests and let them know what we're all about and what we're doing.
Post 64 shares a home with Post 394, which is one of the 2 posts in the United States that membership is exclusive to female veterans. The dinner will take place Saturday starting at 5 p.m. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, it's Shannon's Big 3. A Webb City father fights for his life while his family seeks community support. Plus an I-44 bridge strike and an officer-involved shooting. Those and more in Shannon Becker's Big 3. Love having Shannon Becker in the studio to give his Big 3 news stories of the week, but sadly he is unable to join us this week.
So don't worry, though. We've still made sure that we've got those stories ready to give to you because he sent them to us even though he isn't here. The number 3 story, an oversized load carrying a small building failed to clear the I-44 overpass on Missouri 59 in Fidelity. That was just before 10 o'clock on Friday. The building struck the overpass after missing an exit and debris fell onto the road. A pilot car stopped for the debris. It was rear-ended by a truck hauling a trailer. Just a chain reaction out there on these collisions. This pilot car driver was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. MoDOT officials reported the bridge damage was minor, involving soft materials like particle board and sheet metal. So, of course, slowing up some traffic. Got to be careful on those low clearances. There's a lot of low clearance bridges around our area for sure.
Yes, definitely pay attention to that signage as well. Our number 2 story, Matthew Hendricks, a Webb City man, is in the ICU after a serious rollover crash in Lawrence County. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reports that Hendricks swerved his wrecker to avoid an oncoming vehicle, causing it to strike a utility pole and overturn. Friends have organized a GoFundMe to support his family during his recovery. Hendricks, who is sedated and on a ventilator, is the head of his household, supporting his partner Abby and their 3-year-old son Liam. Donations will help cover household expenses while he's unable to work.
Of course, a very tragic situation there. And of course, as mentioned, mention, there's that GoFundMe that's been set up for that family as well. Our number one story this week, Dylan Martinez, 32, has been identified as the suspect in an officer-involved shooting with an off-duty McDonald County deputy. Now, Martinez, who has a lengthy criminal history, including charges of rape, robbery, and kidnapping, was involved in a shooting on November 16th near Route E in Powell, Missouri. Now, Deputy Michael Hall, who encountered Martinez with a stolen vehicle, was shot in the right thigh, but he returned fire, hitting Martinez. Both of them were injured, with Martinez remaining in the hospital. Michael Hall has since been released. The investigation, of course, is continuing into that. And of course, with this, Hall showed up. He went out, he saw a car in his driveway, looked abandoned, and that's when Martinez showed up, and he identified himself as a deputy. Hall did, and that's when Martinez opened fire, and Hall returned fire. So still something that they're investigating there. We do not have a bonus story for this week. The bonus story is we get to be Shannon Becker. That's a bonus, right?
You get to be part of this now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You folks that don't know, when I'm filling in here, Shannon and I, he's known me since I was an infant, so we have a long history together for sure. So it's fun to be Shannon. I can't be Shannon, but we can be like Shannon.
Yes.
That's what we can do.
And, he always cares about the 4 states and wanted to make sure that we get this breaking news. So he still, even though he's on, a vacation, a much-deserved vacation, he still made sure that we had his big 3 stories.
I didn't know that he took time off. I don't know how he does what he does, because I could not do it all the time. But of course, Shannon, a great resource, great asset, and I know a lot of you folks out there tune in for some of those live local breaking stories that he covers, and that we will then bring to you here. Well, that's Shannon's big 3. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:44 now on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. Fog tracker, many improvements, which is good. We do have Cassville now is down to just under 9 miles of visibility. You can see some slightly denser fog there into eastern Berry County. That's about it. We still have a couple of spotty showers out there, one on the east side of Joplin stretching up toward Carthage. We've got another one here that's near Golden City at this point. Goodness, forgive me. I just drew a blank there. But you see where it is. You know where you are. You know where that is. Forgive me. My goodness. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. Not a bad week, just a long week. I'm sure we're all ready for the weekend. One last weekend before the big holiday and all that shopping. How many folks are ready to go like a couple $1 million in debt? And you don't even know how you do it. You don't even have that couple $1 million. And somehow, by the end of Black Friday, you owe $2 million to someone somewhere. It's just kind of wild. All right, all this rain associated with this low pressure system, and it's right near Dodge City. Now, this rain's been dissipating around it, but before it did so, you can see that rotation, and you can see where that low pressure is. That warm front is here, and that's what lifted through, brought us our showers, brought us our storms yesterday, and this low pressure will eventually begin to take off and start heading east-southeast and truck across our region. Ahead of it, we'll have southwesterly winds gusting upwards of 20. Now, there could be some clearing along and south of I-44, at least in this immediate vicinity. If it takes place, and if you get enough of it, some of our communities down here could get into the low 70s today. I think most of us will remain mostly cloudy and only top out in the upper 60s. There's a fair chance that the clearing that takes place won't be long enough or enough to allow a lot of warming down in our southern portions of our area. So we'll just kind of have to see how that one plays out. Could get an isolated sprinkle or two, but again, any rainfall that's actually going to truly show up on radar, it's going to be done. It's winding down now and should be done by 9 at the absolute latest. Here comes that low pressure. On the back side of it, we get northerly winds. So it'll be a little cooler tonight. We'll still have mostly cloudy skies, and as we head through the day on Saturday, so I told you it's been a long week. Today is Friday. On Saturday, skies will gradually begin to clear out there. So we'll have some partly cloudy skies, eventually going mostly clear to clear late Saturday into Sunday. We'll have rain chances begin to return as we roll into our Sunday, late Sunday. So this is what we've got. 7th and range line. It's a little dark. It's a little cloudy. It's a little wet. And we'll have the shower chances again at least through 9 a.m. They may be done a little bit before that. And we're going to go low 60s to start, mid 60s by 11. So like yesterday with the clouds, we're not really going to move much in terms of our temperatures. We'll make the upper 60s. Again, we'll have to see if we get enough clearing around I-44 and points south to be a little warmer than that. But I think, again, the majority of us are going to top out in the upper 60s. Southwest winds again gusting to 20. Now tonight, we have the clouds. And we've talked about in the past, if you weren't with us earlier, you know, the clouds usually act as a thermal blanket. We get warm during the day, it keeps us mild overnight, keeps us slightly warmer overnight, okay? Well, not tonight. You're like, well, why are these temperatures dropping? Why is it getting so much colder tonight into the mid-40s? We have the clouds. What's up with that? This is one of those unique situations, can also happen, where we have that low pressure. It's bringing in north winds. And as I described earlier, it's basically if you're under the blankets in your bed, you stay warm, right? But if you take your blankets and you put a fan under them and turn it on, you're going to get cold. Even though you're under the blankets, you're still going to get cold. And that's what we'll have. Now, of course, we're not talking, 50, 60 mile an hour north winds. They're only 5 to 10, but it's enough that it's going to filter cold air in under the clouds and drop us back into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, a little cooler as well. We'll go about 60. Mid-60s return on Sunday. Sunny most of the day. Clouds increasing late in the day. Showers late Sunday into Monday. We're still mild to start and still looking at that cold air arriving Tuesday night, taking a pretty big dip down into the upper 20s, low 30s. Showers possible either Wednesday or on Thanksgiving. There's a weak wave passing by, little discrepancy on exactly which day it's going to land, but even then it's not going to be enough to do much, but we could get some showers. We're going to be seasonably cold heading into Thanksgiving and the following weekend. That's your forecast. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right up after this.
Music City was the place to be for country music Wednesday night at this year's CMA Awards.
Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a recap.
Country music's biggest night has brought us to Nashville, so we can bring you highlights from the 59th Annual CMA Awards.
Ever since I was a little girl, country music has been a huge part of my world. It was more than a genre. It's a way of life.
Host Lainey Wilson ran the show, the third woman to host solo following Dolly and Reba. She kicked things off singing with fellow stars including Miranda Lambert, Little Big Town Shaboozey, and Keith Urban. Wilson performed later on as part of the packed lineup. Among others rocking out with country fans were Chris Stapleton and Stapleton with Miranda Lambert, Megan Maroney, Shaboozey and Stephen Wilson Jr., Ella Langley, and Riley Green. Kenny Chesney performed a medley. Old Dominion sang some biggest hits too.
Willie, if you're out there listening, 92 years old, you're still inspiring us to this day.
Vince Gill was the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award honoree with a tribute featuring Brandi Carlile and George Strait.
Brooks and Dunn!
Brooks and Dunn earned their 16th Vocal Duo of the Year award. The Red Clay Strays won Vocal Group. Single and Song of the Year went to Ella Langley and Riley Green for You Look Like You Love Me. Zach Top earned New Artist of the Year. Male Vocalist of the Year was Cody Johnson. And what a whirlwind for our host Lainey. She took Album of the Year, her 4th Female Vocalist of the Year, and the top title of Entertainer of the Year.
Thank you to the fans. They just keep on making my dreams come true every single day.
Hats off to all the winners of this year's CMA Awards. In Nashville, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Certainly a lot of award winners. My mom went through this country phase in the 90s, so I'm very familiar with like 90s country music, but then it wore out on her, and so I don't really listen to that much new stuff, so I'm like, man, I don't recognize half these folks except for like Vince Gill.
I listen to a lot of like Dolly and Reba, and that's, I think, the extent of my country, but maybe there's some more that I should be introduced to.
And that's the thing. All music is great. It's just a matter of finding the parts that you like the most. My musical taste, as you also learned at the station, what I listen to is expansive. Yes. Extraordinarily expansive. What else is expansive? Well, cloud cover. Rain showers, not so much. One last look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. You can see we got just a few remaining showers out there. Expecting to be done by like 9. They may be done a little earlier than that as the low pressure system pushes on through. We'll have those mostly cloudy skies out there, and our temperatures capping out into the upper 60s for most of us. Another look at your forecast. Wake up recap right after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for November 21st, your top stories to start your day. Authorities have identified the suspect in Sunday's officer-involved shooting in McDonald County as 32-year-old Dylan Martinez, who was on parole from Arkansas and wanted for arson in Bentonville. Martinez, who has a lengthy criminal record, was found on Deputy Michael Hall's property in Hall's driveway. Investigators say Martinez fired a handgun at the off-duty deputy, hitting him in the thigh, prompting Hall to to return fire and wound Martinez. Both men were hospitalized. Hall has been released, while Martinez remains under treatment. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got mostly cloudy skies out there for us today. Upper 60s for the majority of the region for our highs. Could get a couple of low 70s south of I-44 if we get a little more clearing out there. Mostly cloudy through the evening, a little chillier tonight. Low pressure pushes by. North winds 5 to 10, putting us into the mid 40s. And then we will deal with the upper 50s, near 60 tomorrow. Clearing skies, rain showers return late Sunday into Monday. Cold air still set to get here by Tuesday night, making it a seasonably chilly Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and keeping us in the upper 40s, low 50s through next weekend.
While a Thanksgiving celebration is less than a week away, a celebration of Native American heritage brought dozens together in Joplin yesterday.
Now, that celebration was at the Joplin Public Library's Post Art Library, which hosted Culture in Color, Native American Heritage Through Art. The free event featured how Indigenous representation continues to evolve in American culture, art, and commerce. Ugapaw Communications and the Quapaw Nation presented the program, highlighting the importance of authentic Native American voices in today's cultural landscape. Very cool artwork there, very cool history for the tribes that are in our immediate area. Go check it out. Lots of great stuff. That's going to do it for now. We'll be back today at noon with more news and weather.
Have a great rest of your morning.